Well, our devotion for this week is on love. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. I love that verse. In that verse is probably the whole Bible just condensed down into about 25 words. God so loved the world. Heard a story recently about a man who he made a little extra money on the side. And what he would do is he would go down to this, it was like a shack that was down by the river, and a couple of times a week he would go down there and he would lower the drawbridge so that the train could go by. And you know, when the drawbridge was up, the river was open, and the boats would go back and forth. But a couple of times a week, he had to bring that drawbridge down. Well, he lived near where the drawbridge was at, and he took his son on this day, his young son, just a little guy, and he said, "I want you to sit down here. You can sit down by the river, just watch as I bring the drawbridge down." And so he makes his way up to the shack, and he could hear the train coming off in the distance. And as he's preparing, he's starting to bring this bridge down, and he realizes his son's not down at the river where he should be. He has wandered up, and he's now in a place where when the dad brings this bridge down, his son is going to perish. And there's nothing that the father can do. And it's either bring the bridge down and lose your son, or leave the bridge up and lose all the people that are on the train. They'll all die. They'll all perish. And the question is, as the story ends, it says, what would you do? Well, we know what God would do. God so loved those people on the train. God so loved the world that he gave his only son. His only son perished so that the bridge could come down and that the train could pass by. An amazing thing, all the people on the train don't even realize what has just taken place. They don't realize the suffering that the Father has gone through. They don't realize the suffering that the Son has experienced so that they could be saved. That's the story of John 3:16. God so loved the world. And when you look at that verse, I mean, just 25 words in that verse, and it's God's word. It's the entire Bible in a nutshell. And he so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. One word in there. Just think about this one word. So. God so loved the world. How did he love the world? Well, Jesus suffered for us. It was the excruciating, the agony of the beating that he went through. It was the nails in his hands and the nail in his feet. It was suffering on the cross for us. It was the separation from the Father. All of these things, God so loved us. You know, it's one thing to say to someone you love, "I love you." It's another thing to say, "I so love you." And that's what God is saying to us when he says, God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son. Think about John 3:16 this week and how powerful this one verse is. It means everything. If we only had this one verse, someone has said, just this one verse would give us enough information that we would know what it would mean to be a child of God. So that's the devotion for today. God bless you.